There's a story in the New Testament that I've always found kind of bizarre. I mean, it's about a miracle, so it's bizarre right there, but that's not what really bothers me about it. The disciples are going across the Sea of Galilee, heading into the wind, the waves are high, and they look over and they see Jesus walking to them on the water. You've all heard of this story. They're walking to the water and they're terrified and they cry out, "It's a ghost." But immediately Jesus spoke to them and he says, "Take heart, it is I, do not be afraid." Now, once their fear passes, Peter, who is kind of an excitable guy, he gets excited and he wants to join in the fun and he says, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." And Jesus says, "Come ahead." So Peter gets out of the boat and he walks on the water and he comes to Jesus. But when he saw how high the wind was, he got scared and he began to sink. And he cried out, "Lord, save me." And Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took hold of him, saying to him, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" Now, obviously, it's strange that the guy's walking on the water, but what always gets me about this story is Jesus says, "Oh, you of little faith." And I think, really? The guy, even if you took one step on water, that would be a lot of faith. Why is Jesus saying that he doesn't have enough faith when he actually there for a minute was walking on the water? But Jesus was in the tradition of Hebrew prophets, and a lot of what he did, like the Hebrew prophets, the Jewish prophets, is he would act stuff out as a kind of a story that he was telling. And so everything he did had double meanings. And it strikes me about this story when I think about it that everybody, all the time, all of us are walking on water, right? We never know what's going to happen next. We can be hit by a bolt of lightning. We run over by a car. We can lose everything we love. We can, terrible things can happen. Great things can happen. We just don't know. If you've ever talked to a hypochondriac, and I went through in my youth, I went through a very brief, horrible period of hypochondria. They make perfect sense. They tell you, people really do get ill. This really could happen, and the statistics, and they make perfect sense. In some ways, it's unreasonable to face life with confidence. And yet, of course, if you face life with confidence, if you do what Jesus says and you take hold of his hand and you walk on the water of our uncertainty, you're going to have a much better life. And part of this is because life is what's called a level 2 chaotic system. Level 2 chaotic systems are systems where you can't predict what's going to happen next because even your predictions affect the outcome. So, for instance, if I said to you, remember that Tom Cruise movie? It was based on a Philip K. Dick story where they had these people who could tell crimes and they would go and bust the criminal before it took place. Minority Report, right? The problem with that is you would go, "Oh, wait, the guy didn't commit the crime. You arrested him for a crime you said he was going to commit, but you don't know if he was going to commit it." That's a level 2 chaos system. The prediction of the crime causes them to stop the crime, and therefore the crime doesn't take place, and the prediction is incorrect, right? The stock market is a level 2 chaos system. So you've noticed the stock market is going up, down, took a terrible plunge yesterday. Wasn't that terrible if you measure it in percentages. It's gone so far up that it was only a 3 or 4% drop, but it's climbing now today. It's coming back. And you're seeing the different reactions to it. People saying, "Oh my God," mostly the Republicans saying, "It's going to be fine, don't worry about it." And of course the Democrats and the media, but I repeat myself, the Democrats and their media are saying, "Oh, it's a disaster. Trump has killed us all, is going to kill us all." The thing about, in a level 2 chaos system, the reactions to uncertainty don't tell you anything about what's going to happen next. They only tell you about the person who is speaking. What do they tell you? Well, we're about to find out. Trigger warning, I'm Andrew Klavan, and this is The Andrew Klavan Show.